check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and in this video I am taking part in the Road to GT7 series as we come towards the launch of that game on March 4th. This is round 1 being held at Tokyo Expressway, and I am driving the Porsche 911 GT3 as we now move over to my qualifying lap. Moving through the braking area of turn 1, pressing the brakes around 75 meters from the corner, dropping it to 4th gear, holding around half throttle throughout the turn, and then back onto the power through the straight. Braking at the 150 meter board for turn 2, dropping down to 2nd gear and just trying to link both turn 2 and 3 in a single motion. Moving out wide for the start of turn 4 and just trying to kiss the apex on both sides of the exit of turn 5. Braking around 50 meters for turn 6, dropping down to 3rd gear and just trying to get close to the wall on the left before letting it sweep out to the right towards the tunnel. And the tunnel is such a high speed section of the track, just got to get close to the wall without touching it. And lifting off the throttle for turn 9, just tapping the wall on the outside, luckily no penalties this time. And braking around 175 meters from the hairpin of turn 10, dropping it down to 2nd gear, not quite kissing the apex on the hairpin, but it will be good enough to get me round and moving towards the ramp, towards this final sector of the track. Braking slightly and just putting the car in 3rd gear, just trying to skim the wall on the right, moving up to 4th, but remembering I would be coming out of the next corner dead, so I'll drop it back down to 3rd, managing to keep the car close to the wall through the next 2 corners, braking once again 50 meters from the last corner, getting back on the power a little bit too early and just giving the wall a little kiss on the exit. And crossing the line with a time of 2 minutes 22.230, and that time is good enough to put me on pole. Absolutely amazing. Glad I decided to try out this new car. Now moving on over to the race. This is 10 laps and we have to have at least 1 pit stop. Now I've got to say I'm not used to being here on pole, sitting with nothing in front of me. Auto drive is starting to take over as we move towards the line to start the race. Do we wait for the countdown? Moving into the first corner's braking area, and all I can think of is there a rocket behind me getting ready to knock me into the wall. Coming out of the corner, I'm very thankful, knowing that there's already a little gap between me and the car in 2nd as the pack behind have a little fight moving down this straight. Braking for the 2nd corner, sweeping across and just trying to link them all and keeping as much speed going through the corners. Moving close to the wall on the left when entering the tunnel, and just keeping the speed through these corners. Getting very close to the wall. Staying a little bit centralised through towards turn 9, lifting off the throttle just to make it through, but giving the wall on the left a little kiss. Thankfully, no damage, nothing like that. Braking at the 175 metre board and moving into the hairpin. As we pass what I think is one of the most weirdest positioned pit lanes on any track. I can't think of any other tracks where it isn't positioned next to the start-finish line. Answer in the comments if you know of any other tracks that are like this. Still just trying to push this Porsche through the final sector of the track as fast as I can. Still very early days, lots of fuel on board, very new tyres still on the car. Coming around for the final corner. Skipping ahead now to lap 5, still running in first place, and I've managed to build the gap on the car behind to around 2.2 seconds. And I move into the first corner, still trying to just keep as much speed, trying to build that gap to the car behind, because I still have to pit at some point in this race. The tyres are nice and warm now though, letting me push even harder on this car through this lap. Purple sector 1, moving into the tunnel and building the gap to the car behind to 3 seconds. And finally I'm able to get around turn 9 without actually kissing the wall on the left, coming in towards the hairpin now. Keeping it as tidy as I can through the hairpin, back on the power. Moving up the on-ramp to the freeway. And getting a purple sector 2. And just trying to keep as much speed through the next corners so I can get close to the wall on each side. Moving through the final corner, I have a little bit of a nightmare by touching the wall on the right. Thankfully, I don't lose too much speed, so I can move towards the start line to start the next lap. And crossing the line with a time of 2 minutes 21.9, giving me the fastest lap of the race so far. Coming out of turn 1 a little bit too hot, I give the wall a little tap on the right. Thankfully, I don't lose anything. As we skip ahead towards the end of the lap, just coming out of the tunnel now, I really need to pit at this point. I'm running very low on fuel. Lifting yet again to get through turn 9. Braking a little late going into the pits for new tyres and a splash of fuel to get me to the checkered flag. Just waiting for the mechanics to do their thing. This felt very long in real time. And leaving the pits in third place, meaning I've got some work to do catching up with the 2 cars ahead of me. Skipping ahead now to lap 7, just coming through the final few corners towards the hairpin. Quite tidy through the corner once again. back on the power, and back into first place thanks to the fact that they're both pitting. And moving through the sweeping corners of the third sector, it almost feels like I'm driving on my own, no one in front of me and no one really behind at this point. Crossing the line to start the 8th lap. And skipping ahead to the end of the first sector of the final lap of the race. Moving around to the right corner. And as we come out of the corner exit, we can see that the gap to the car behind is now 8 seconds. Meaning, I don't have to push as much, but I want to. So I'm going to keep seeing how big I can make this gap. Almost touching the wall a little bit inside the tunnel. Avoiding the wall on turn 9. And just sweeping through the hairpin. And you see starting to catch up to a car behind as we move into the final sector of the race. Braking for the final corner. Not touching the wall on the exit. Just trying to move into the toe of the car in 15th. Moving to the inside for the only overtake of this race as I cross the line to win.
Yes! Yes! Oh!
And I think that reaction speaks for itself on how I was feeling after taking that win. From pole to the checkered flag, I was pretty happy with that. And the gap to the car behind with over 10 seconds, easily my best performance of 2022 so far. And that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and if you made it this far, why not like the video, subscribe for more content, why not leave me a cheeky little comment below? But with that, I will see you in the next one.